This is my 1.6 HDI Peugeot Partner 2007, roughly about 103,000 miles. So if you're really interested how to pass MOT test or emissions, stay tuned. Let's first see how the history of my MOT emissions test has been for the last few years. 2015, pass. 2016, pass. 2017, pass. I don't have the numbers for 2018, but I think it passed the emission test, but these absorption coefficients were climbing up. I'll first show you what you can do and how you can pass it, and then I'll explain what these absorption coefficients mean. 2019 completely failed the emissions test. 2020 completely failed the emission test. And this is, I'm filming this video just before going for an MOT test, so I'll do all these and film them and then see if my car has passed the 2021 emissions test. First of all, what you can do to pass your MOT emissions test. Of course, change the oil filter, change the air filter, because a clogged air filter restricts the car from air and to have more carbon particles coming out, and it will obstruct this absorption testing. Change your fuel filter if you want, that would also help. So all these I have been doing for every single year that I've had this car. I've had it for about 10-11 years. The last 3 years has been completely failing the MOT test or the emissions test, despite me doing all of these. So let's now see what else and why a car could fail an MOT test. The MOT absorption coefficient that measures the emissions is simply absorption coefficient. How much does the light travel? It sticks to the exhaust and basically measures how far the light travels through a media. In that case, your exhaust or the fumes from the exhaust. So if the stuff that comes out of your exhaust is really black, then this light would be absorbed and it won't travel that far. And then you can get this reading. It's per meter. These numbers on the MOT test are per meter. These are called absorption coefficient. And there is a limit for my car, is 1.8 of these, the absorption, the light traveling through the media, in that case the exhaust smoke. Of course, if your smoke coming out of the exhaust is really clean, you get really low number. The light travels quite far and it's not absorbed that easily. So you might have heard about this Italian tune-up, or just drive it hard and so on. So I tried this last year. I went, found a nice road, made a few runs, got it to about 3,500 RPM, my engine, and completely failed. 2020 completely failed. It was not enough. I did it several times and I did it at the morning of the MOT test. So this didn't help. Went around, asked people. It turns out that you have to really drive it quite hard for a bit. So what is the Italian tune-up? Find yourself a nice hill. If you don't have a hill, something that is slightly on the hilly side. Depending on the speed of that road, stick it in second. I would do it in second. Stick it in second. Bring your RPM to 5,500. Keep it there for a couple of seconds. Go around and do this again. That should be enough, and that's the Italian tune-up. So let me show you how I do it. I couldn't really find a hill where I live, and it's just a slight uphill, not even a hill, so I did my testing in second gear. So let's see how this is done. And what's the verdict after all this running around, high RPM and so on? There we go. Hopefully you can see it. 0.39 per meter fast passed, and it's a pass completely with a limit of 1.8. completely passed, no problems whatsoever. So why does this Italian tune-up work? I mean, changing oil filters, changing the air filter and so on, it all helps. But if you don't drive your car hard enough, eventually the exhaust gets clogged with a lot of carbon particles. When on the MOT test or the emissions test they floor your car, this sudden gush of air, really this carbon flies away. In other words, you get this light, the absorption coefficient is quite high, the light is absorbed a lot, so in other words it's pretty black. So what this Italian tune-up basically clears all your exhaust system with as much carbon as you can clean it out. In other words, when they floor it, no much more carbon to fly out. In addition to the carbon that gets pushed out of the exhaust system, also your intercooler has a bit of oil from the crankcase breather, has a bit of oil, so when you push that as much as you can, 5,500 RPM, this oil also gets pushed, so next time when the tester pushes it, not much oil has gathered in there. So you have to do it the day before your emissions test, or the morning, even that's also alright. So there you have it. If you really want your car to pass first time around the MOT or emissions test, or you have problems with these emissions and your car fails, and the MOT center doesn't want to do anything, most of the times they wouldn't do anything, you want to do that, do this Italian tune-up. Actually it works, and I'll be doing it next year. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Hopefully you found this video useful. Let me know for any comments in the comment section. Thank you.